like to, at this point, bring Todd Sugarman up, our synagogue president, to introduce our High Holiday Appeal.
Good afternoon. Every year, the Finance Committee and the Exec Board try to figure out who would be a good speaker for our annual appeal, one that could loosen your pocketbooks up. This year, we didn't have to ask anyone. We had a volunteer. Sherry Jo Reich wanted to share her story with you. She joined Temple Beth Am in 2008, was involved in our merger to Temple Sinai, and has been in some form of leadership position from almost the day she joined. She is a member of the CSS Executive Board, and remember I told you last week how hard these members work for you? Well, Sherry Jo is one of the hardest working women I know. She doesn't think twice when tables need to be set up or taken down. She won't hesitate to grab a shovel and remove snow from the walkway to our entrance so people can enter safely in the winter. She is the first to volunteer for most events, and she is one of the first to donate her money or sponsor an event. She loves being involved in this temple. So it's my honor to introduce my friend, Sherry Jo Reich.
Thank you, Todd. If asked the same question again, I would say yes, 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 again. There really is no place like home. And I think everyone here and everyone out there virtually would agree that this is certainly our spiritual home. Is there anybody here who doesn't know where that line came from? The Wizard of Oz, MGM, 1939. The timeless story of Dorothy Gale, and as a kid I didn't understand that foreshadowing, transported through a tornado from Kansas to Oz, and the journey and transformation she undergoes by traveling from Munchkin Land to the Emerald City, and from Oz back to Kansas. Home, by her epiphany that home is where her heart is. Glinda helps and tells her she's always had the ability to go home. She just needed to listen to her heart. Click her heels in those ruby red shoes 3 times and think there's no place like home. My spiritual home growing up was Temple Sinai. Literally. I was there because my parents, Lee and Lee, very confusing when the phone rang, Lee and Lee bought their house on Margaret Road, literally around the corner from the back door of Temple Sinai, because the temple was there. They were about 6 months pregnant with me. My family grew up there. My brother, sister, my children were named there. And then at some point, my sister and her kids came to Beth Am, and I decided the family needed to stay together, so we came here too in 2008. I joined the board because if any of you know me, I open my mouth, and I joined the board, and I've never left. And the board and the exec meeting committee that's been together for X number of years, they're family, they're home. 2 years ago at High Holidays in 2019, who would have thought that we would enter Oz in 2020 and not be able to gather at our spiritual home until High Holy Days 2021. Now I know a lot of people out there say Oz, but we all know that in the movie, Kansas is black and white, and you open the door, Dorothy opens the door, and Oz is all in color. And we think Oz is the greatest place in the world, until you realize it's got very strange flying monkeys. It's got witches. It's got trees that talk and throw apples at you. And it's kind of a scary place. And so that's what Oz reminds me of, a scary place. And don't get me wrong, okay? I thought the transit drive-in was awesome. okay? I grew up at the Transit Drive-In. I worked there as a teenager for years, my brother, sister, my nieces and nephews. So it was kind of like home, but actually kind of more like a hotel when you're on vacation. Not quite exact. And just like in Oz, the characters, our clergy, our staff, our board of trustees, most importantly, you, the congregants, you're all known to us, but not quite familiar behind those masks. Do we recognize everyone? We think we do. Are a lot of you on Facebook and YouTube and Boxcast, live stream, concerned to gather in person still? Sure. Afraid of another house falling on us? Possibly, and that's understood. We know this place, our temple, our congregation. The set's a little different. The masks, these lovely plastic sheets. Social distancing, no shaking of hands or hugs, except I just did hug Judy Henn when she came in, and she hugged back. But Jews schmooze. And I don't think anything, not even a pandemic, is going to take that away from us. I know I shouldn't be saying it, but I did. We've entered Oz before on September 11th, 2001. We honored that 20th anniversary during the Days of Awe. And we came together, whether it was home to family, talking to people on the phone to make sure they were okay, coming to our spiritual home to grieve, to be comforted, and to just be in the presence of friends. Because that's what you do when you enter Oz. This is a tough one. We entered Oz on February 12, 2009. The loss of 50 souls, Flight 3407. My friend and our beloved cantor, Susan Whaley. We came home here with Rabbi Alex filling in for Rabbi Tannenbaum, because Rabbi Tannenbaum had flown out that morning for vacation because he knew Susan was coming home to take over. And we gathered again when a madman attacked a shul in Pittsburgh. And it wasn't here right away. It was at Temple Beth Tzedek when all of Jewish Buffalo and our friends came together, because we go to our spiritual homes. Because that's what a home is all about, being able to just be and be together. And that's why this place, our spiritual home, is so important to maintain, to take care of, to improve, because it's here for us in good times, including our upcoming 10th anniversary celebrations. Stay tuned. More importantly, when we enter Oz and need to journey back home. Our life cycle events, baby namings, b'nai mitzvahs, marriages, funerals, typically take place in our spiritual home. We have an obligation, a commandment, a mitzvah, to contribute to communal life to each other. So I'm asking each of you to contribute what you can to support this spiritual home, our home. Just like any home, it needs a slap of new paint, or it needs some new carpet or some new lights or whatever else it needs. It needs security to keep us safe. So I'm asking you all to click your heels 3 times and repeat after me that there's no place like Shir Shalom. We have some ushers who are going to be coming around with some plastic buckets because we think it's a little bit safer to put them in there so there's no hand-to-hand contact. And they'll be doing that for your pledge cards. I wish each of you a healthy, happy New Year and a good fast.